Welcome. You're listening to Underlying Pigment, a hairdresser podcast. My name is Rob Jernigan, and I'm sitting down with individuals from all areas of the salon industry to talk about their processes, the lessons they have learned, and how they try to make an impact. My goal is to bring together stylists, along with current and possible future salon owners, to learn from each other, help each other grow, share their love, their struggles, and personal insights of the industry. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so on today's podcast, I've got Monica Evans-White, and owner of Magenta Sky Salon and Magenta Roots Scalp Care. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So we've known each other for a few years now, like since Element Salon. So
Right.
a handful of years. And I just want you to kind of just tell our audience who you are.
Well, I'm Monica Evans-White. Hence the second last name is because I got married last year.
Congrats.
I've been in the industry 10 years now, licensed. If we want to count all the years I've been doing hair, it's been since probably 20, since I was in middle school. We've all kind of played in hair before, we got our license. So,
Right.
but I live here in Pensacola, Florida. I own a salon. I have a scalp care line, and I have a long hair Dotson that I love.
Nice. So what brought you into the industry so many years ago?
Doing hair kind of came naturally to me, and I have a love for people and a love of helping people. So that kind of getting into this field kind of helped me combine those two things. There's nothing like doing somebody's hair and brightening their day, making them feel better about themselves. So that's why I really, was drawn to the cosmetology field.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. And so you've been in the industry, 10 licensed. I mean, we've all been there.
Right.
Got to play with it beforehand.
Right.
It's a commitment, like going to school ain't cheap. So,
Right.
So what was going on in your life at the time that you did decide to go all in and go to school and everything?
I was actually not even planning. When I got to high school, I had gotten to a point where I was kind of tired of doing hair. Like I wanted to do something else. So I started actually to go to school for interior design. And I was fighting against being a cosmetologist. I was over it. I was like, this is not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I'm going to do something else. And so I enrolled at Pensacola State for drafting and design. And it wasn't really giving me the vibe that I needed to continue to pursue it.
Right.
And I just remember being frustrated one day. And my mom was like, Monica, you love hair. Why don't you just go to cosmetology school? Like, what are you doing? So I went that same day up to PSD and applied for cosmetology school, and everything just kind of flowed. Like it was natural. Like everything just kind of like fell into place. I got into school that same semester, which really doesn't normally happen.
Right.
And I was able to fund it, and I just was like, okay, this was meant to be. So I kept going with it.
Right. So at what point did you become a salon owner?
I opened my first salon back in 2016, and that was under my first name, which was Moev's Salon and Beauty. And I had that salon for 3 years. And I just got to a point where I felt like it was getting stagnant. It wasn't really growing as much as I wanted it to. The property owners that I had my salon at, they had a different unit come open, and it was a much bigger space. It was a more open space. And I said, you know what, I'm going to make the jump to rebrand and grow my salon. So I ended up getting that bigger space, and I rebranded my name for Magenta Sky. And from there on, it just kind of been growing and doing well ever since.
So how did the rebranding, what was your thought process on that? Because that's kind of a scary thing, like just changing everything. I mean, locations and name and everything all at once.
Well, I feel like at the certain points, you kind of grow out of that old shell. And Moev was something that I had started when I first went into a salon, just to kind of give myself a name.
Right.
And I had been under that for, the first half of my career. And Moev wasn't really matching up to what the vision that I had. I wanted to kind of take myself out of the name and kind of let my salon be its own brand. So that's when I was actually driving home one day, leaving Moel's, and the skyline, it had just finished raining. The skyline had like this magenta color. Magenta has always been my favorite color, but I kind of was like, ooh, that's a pretty magenta sky. And I was like, that's my salon name. That's what I'm going to call it, is Magenta Sky, because it just kind of gave me the energy of like hope and bigger things. So branding is something that I always tell people to keep like really personal.
Yeah.
It always has to have like some type of personal connection to you.
Yeah, like a true connection and all that. Yeah. So,
right.
And I mean, and for anyone that's listening that's not in Pensacola, like we do have really like beautiful sunsets here and all that. And that sky, like that legit is a good way to describe a lot of the sunsets here. So what were some of the speed bumps that you were hitting and kind of overcoming at that time of rebranding? Like, because you had to change logos, like licensing, all that stuff, I assume.
Yes.
And then what part of that did you just like stop and reapproach some other direction if you had to?
Well, I mean, of course, you got to go in and change your life. You got to do all the legal stuff. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, but that stuff isn't really hard. It's really getting people to kind of see this new vision that you have for yourself and for your brand. So I would say the biggest hump that I faced was just reintroducing myself to people and reintroducing, the vision and the drive that I had for this new place and this new location and these new people I had working for me.
Right. So what is like how would you describe your salon culture now?
The salon culture that I have at Magenta Sky, we are all it's really like family. Like anybody that comes in, they always say how welcome they are. Everybody helps out. It's just a really chill, just laid back type of environment. We're all there. We all have a common goal, and we all kind of got into this industry for the same reason. Like some people get into the industry because they think it's fast money. And that's right. You really have to have a passion for this. Like if you're all about the money, then it's just not going to work. But
yeah, I mean, you can hustle, but you got to have that passion and drive to keep going and not
right.
Because people burn yourself out.
Yeah. So the salon is just a real family environment. We all love coming to work. We all love working together. So that's the type of I would say energy that the salon.
That's awesome. So like now that's what you're trying to establish in there. You're bringing in new stylists. How do you approach that with your stylist as far as like, this is what I'm expecting. This is the culture I want. I mean, how is it like with your hiring process and everything?
Communication is a huge thing for me, even in my personal life. Mm-hmm. So I'm very, very open and honest about things in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I just let people know like this is what I'm expecting. Everybody in here helps out. Everybody in here, if we have a problem with each other, we address it right then. It's just one of those, and you can feel the energy that you get from a person. I'm right. A strong believer in energy, and like you can tell when somebody's just not gonna fit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because, every personality is not going to gel together. And I feel like in a salon environment, because people are coming there to relax, to get away, to re-energize, the energy in the room has to be on point. And, we can't have different drama things going on. So I'm very, very upfront, with things like that, because I'm a very laid back type of person. So
Right.
when I'm having new people come in and they want to work, I communicate. I tell them everything I expect from the beginning. And, we do like a trial basis. Nothing's going to keep you here if you, don't
Right.
feel comfortable. And I won't be offended if you don't feel like you fit in, because
Right. Definitely.
you have to be comfortable where you work.
Yeah. It's got to be from both sides. So, I mean,
Yeah.
You can't feel uncomfortable with them, but then they can't. I mean, you don't want them to be miserable at work either if it's just not their vibe.
Right.
So now you go through, rebrand yourself, like start the new location, and then all of a sudden I start seeing Magenta Root scalp care like all over Instagram and stuff. So what was the starting point with that? Like where did this come from?
Well, me being someone that deals with, I have eczema, and it's this dry skin condition, and it's on my scalp. I have it on my scalp, and I was personally suffering with having a dry scalp and itchy scalp and dandruff issues. So really Magenta Roots began with just me working on myself. I couldn't find products in the stores that were giving me the solutions that I needed. A lot of stuff in the stores has a lot of chemicals in it, a lot of preservatives, and it was actually making my scalp condition worse. So I started experimenting with essential oils and natural butters to kind of heal my scalp. And that's how Magenta Roots came about.
That's awesome. So with, like, I just saw that you kind of, I don't know if expanded is the right word in that, but you've got like the lavender thing going on, and all that with the line. How, like, have you intentionally grown it just to add pieces in, or has there been a need for every piece and you're just expanding as you find a need to expand?
It's kind of weird how, because I really originally started off with just a hair butter, because I just wanted something I could put on my scalp every day that wasn't going to sit on my scalp and build up and just cause issues. So I started with the butter, and then I was like, well, now I need something to detox my scalp, because I had clients that were coming in that were in extensions and certain protective styles that, it would cause a buildup, oils and dandruff and different buildups on their scalp. So I wanted something to detox the scalp. So then I came up with the scrub. Then I would have, people come in with braids and locks, and, they don't shampoo, they're not shampooing their hair as often. They needed a quick cleaning solution. So then I came up with the cleansing wipe. So I kind of see the need and feel the need as they come to me.
Awesome. So what's going to be your ultimate goal for the Magenta Root scalp care line?
I really want to take it to where it's, for one, outside of Pensacola.
Right.
And then I would love to be in like one of the Walmarts or Sally's or Target, taking it to, where I can help as many people as I can. Because I've noticed something. A lot of people are just worried about the hair when it comes out of their head, and they just worry about that strand of hair, but nobody thinks about the foundation of the hair and the scalp, where the hair comes from and the health of the scalp. And that's just as important too. So I want to get that message out there. Like, yes, we can have beautiful hair, but we want to have a healthy scalp as well.
Right. Yeah, definitely got to take care of the foundation and build up from there. So with your, like, change in the salon, when did you get into the new location?
I moved into the Magenta Sky location in 2019.
2019. Okay.
Yeah, which was really, really crazy and scary because that was like a couple months after I got married. And at the time, my husband was living in Texas. So I didn't know if I was going to stay in Pensacola or leave. I was like, nope, I'm opening a salon. So
yeah, go for it. So you got established all that stuff in there. 2019, you said was a scary year for you, but you had good challenges,
Right,
getting married, all that stuff's great. But then 2020 hits. So, and then we have COVID-19.
Right.
So like, how are you? Like we talked a little bit before this episode, asked how you're doing, like health wise, like you're good, like staying healthy, stylist, all that stuff. I mean, but how are you mentally dealing with this? I mean, are you like, it's a challenge, and you are very, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because I want to go into this in a little bit too, but you're like daily affirmations and stuff. Like you're a very positive person. How in the world have you stayed positive this year?
Oh, a lot of taking time for myself. Even though COVID has been like a very negative thing, it's been a very positive thing for me as well, because I had a hustle mentality.
Right.
I would go into the salon at 8:00 in the morning and not leave till 8:00 at night if I had to. Like it was just a hustle. Gotta work, gotta do this, and then all of a sudden you come to this halt, and you have to sit down, and there's nothing to do.
Right.
So I've just kind of embraced that me time. I've embraced that time with my family. And it kind of opened my eyes to see like, wow, I was missing out on a lot because I was always in the salon. And, I just try to look at the positive side of what's going on. Like, yeah, we can't do a lot of the things that we were doing, but you have to kind of explore those other options and give that a chance as well, because it can be a very positive thing. And you may find out some things about yourself. It's like, oh, okay, I got this talent, or that's pretty cool, or I never thought I would be able to do this, that, and the other. Because I've seen a lot of people start businesses during this time. I've seen a lot of people learn new talents. So that's what I try to focus on, is just what can I get out of the situation and make it positive.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of changes and a lot of entrepreneurial type adventures for a lot of people during this time, and it's the best time to like pick up a book, read on like how to start a business, whatever, like however you have to go about it and do it, So adjustments in the salon when y'all were to reopen, like we all have the same guidelines for Florida, like every state was different. How did you approach that? Like, I know it was a challenge. Like we all tell our clients, okay, like we're back open, but 25%, 50%, whatever. How did you go about reopening?
We had because my staff, everybody was pretty understanding to the situation. And after being shut down for over a month, we all kind of got used to, having that free time. So we had to stagger our schedules. Our clients were very understanding, but we have notices hanging up all over the salon, signs on the door. We actually at the salon, we keep the door locked right now because we're not taking walk-ins still.
Right.
So because we have, when you have a salon, people are walking in and out. Some people don't wear masks. So I have to, just stress we're doing this to keep you safe and ourselves safe. So we broke down our schedules. We had a long meeting about, who was going to work and when they were going to work. We sent out notices every week to our clients to remind, clients that were coming in that week the rules and guidelines and, how things in the salon had changed. There weren't snacks laying around. There weren't, the water wasn't going to be, we put all that stuff away. And we do a lot of cleaning. Behind each shampoo, behind each client, we ended up getting disposable capes, and a lot of ladies don't like them because they're plastic and they get hot. But I'm like, look, we'll notch the air down, but this is what we have to use. But people were very understanding, and a lot of my stylists have elderly people, so a lot of them haven't even been coming back in.
Yeah.
I think everybody kind of, and my thing was, if you want the service, you're going to follow the rules, and everybody has been following the rules because we were very strict on the mask and washing your hands when you get in and all that. So it has worked out fine.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like people know, women especially, that if they don't want those roots showing, they don't want their hair looking a little shabby, they're going to do whatever they have to do. They may complain about it, but they're going to do it, So yeah. So now, you're not in the salon as much as you were just because of COVID and everything like that. But so what are you doing in your spare time? You've got your family, and then I've seen you doing a few pop-up shops and stuff like that, with your scalp care line. So what's your daily flow outside of the salon now?
Well, I make a lot of time for Magenta Roots, just researching and looking into new ingredients, how different things affect the scalp, and different things like that. I started my collection of house plants. Yeah. So I love my plants. I'm always in a nursery somewhere, just walking around, even if I don't buy anything, because that has just become just a release for me, just going to a nursery and just walking around looking at plants. I have my dog, my husband, we hang out a lot. He's working from home, so he's probably going more crazy than I am because he don't even get to see people on a regular basis. And then my nieces, they keep me pretty entertained at times. So I like to spend my time doing just self-care things.
That's awesome. So yeah, you're always sharing your affirmations, all that stuff. So what would you say your mantra is? What do you live by?
Something I always tell myself, and I tell other people all the time, is, do all things with love and good intentions. If you do that, then you can't fail. Because if you love what you're doing and you're doing it with good intentions, then it's just going to be okay. It just has to be. And that you can apply that to anything.
Yep, definitely. No, I love that. So with, so you've got your brand going on, the newer salon. I mean, it's a year, just every year now that you've had Magenta Sky Salon. What are some things on your bucket list, and maybe outside the salon or hair care industry, that you want to do?
Well, bucket list stuff. Well, I've been trying to get to Canada for the past 3 years because I really want to see Niagara Falls. And I said, I have to go and see that in person one day. But that, and I mean, as far as doing something with my Magenta Roots, one of my bucket list things is to be a vendor at Essence Festival in New Orleans. I have to do that one. I have to be a vendor there one year. I just have to. I don't know. I just see myself with this huge, ridiculous, extra display of things and just being there.
No, that'd be awesome. Yeah, that would definitely be something to look forward to on that. Right. So what's some of the resources that you've had over the years that's helped you with your journey, and then resources that you're looking to with your scalp care line?
With my scalp care line, Google has been a huge resource. But just having like mentors, people who are doing what you want to do. So I've connected with just going to hair shows and different things like that. I've been able to network and connect with other people who have started hair care lines and product lines from the ground up, and they're doing well, and their products are in Target and Walmart and things like that. I've been able to connect with those people and just kind of get advice. And, I follow them on Instagram and Facebook and just kind of see what they're doing. And those are a big resource for me. And just reading and educating myself. Like, you have to always be willing to learn and take in new things.
It's awesome that you've been able to reach out and actually connect with like owners of those brands that have started, because ego kind of gets in people's way sometimes and stuff like that. So it's cool that you can actually reach out and actually have contacts like that.
Yeah.
For someone who can help build you up that way. So that's awesome. What is, you've gotten all this advice over the years. What's some advice that you would give to someone that's wanting to enter into the salon industry?
My biggest advice would be to stay consistent and to always be open to learning. Don't think you know it all already. A lot of us come out of school and we're like, I know what I'm doing and I don't need anybody to tell me what to do. But this industry changes. To me, it changes. There's always something new, like every year.
Yep.
There's always something new to learn. There's always something new some new tools to put in your tool belt. You just have to be consistent in what you're doing, how you treat people, and just always be willing to go take a class, listen to somebody that's been in the industry for years, taking their advice because they know what they're talking about. I have a lady that works in my salon. She's been in the industry. She's in her 70s. She's been in the industry for a really long time. And whatever advice she has to give me, I'm always willing to listen because she's been there. She has the wisdom that I could use. So I always tell people, don't get too big-headed. Don't get too cocky,
Right.
Always be willing to take in new information and new advice.
Yeah. So what are you looking to bring to your brand in the future? Any sneak peeks of what you can tell us that you're working on or anything like that?
Well, I'm working on right now is the only thing I don't have is a shampoo and conditioner to go along with my detoxes and, my maintenance products. That's been one of the things that it's a little bit harder to formulate and keep a little bit on the natural side.
Yeah, definitely is.
But I'm working on that and just growing my brand and expanding it outside of Pensacola. I'm looking into pop-up shops and different vending events outside of the city, just to kind of pull myself out of this comfort zone that I'm in with Pensacola.
Nice. So what kind of advice would you give to someone who's trying to enhance their brand, whether it's hair products or just something else that they're trying to do?
I would just say, like I said earlier, keep it very personal and be vulnerable. Because nowadays people don't buy products. They buy the connection they have with a person. They buy your story. They buy the way that you overcame something. So you have to be willing to be very open and honest with people about your goals and your mission for your products. And just, being open to let them, you don't got to give them all your business, but let them peek into your life a little bit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, share the good stuff. I mean, even some of the bad stuff, but it's being real is definitely key in a lot of aspects of life,
Yes.
So where would our listeners be able to find you on social media?
If you want to find me on social media, my Facebook is the Magenta Shop the Magenta Shop on Facebook. I'm also Magenta Roots Scalp Care on Facebook. Same thing on Instagram, Magenta Roots on Instagram, the Magenta Shop on Instagram. And then I have my website, theMagentaShop.com.
And is there anything that I should have asked you today that I didn't? Or anything you want to expand on?
The only thing I could really add on is just, everybody just stay encouraged and practice your self-care, take time for yourself. It's been a hectic, crazy, unpredictable year. But just remember that you're not in it alone and your goals are still achievable. Things haven't stopped because the world has paused a little.
Right. That's awesome. So, all right. Well, Monica, I appreciate you spending a little time with me and our audience, and I greatly appreciate it. I'm glad you're doing well, and looking forward to seeing Magenta Roots Scalp Care grow even more.
Oh,
and
thank you.
I definitely thank you for your time.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. And I'm really excited, for this podcast to continue growing. I've been following and watching.
Yeah. I've got some ideas and stuff, and I'll definitely be reaching out to you for some more stuff, some ideas I've got down the line. So
Okay.
I would love that to have you back on and everything.
All right. I'd love to do it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and you have a good night. Okay.
All right. You too.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.